Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Beguiled by Books. Today, I've got 5 of my favorite nonfiction books that you should read for Black History Month. Let's get started. In honor of Black History Month, I want to share with you some of my favorite and most profound books that I have read by Black authors that I think you should read as well. There are tons of amazing books out there written by Black authors, by authors of different nationalities and ethnicities, and they are very important for you to expand your horizons and read. Publishing is an inherently white-driven industry, so it's really important as readers to go out of our way and make sure that we are supporting those authors and ensuring that their voices are lifted up and heard and that they are able to make money from the books that they are writing. So the first book that I loved and that everyone should read is How to Be an Anti-Racist. This is just a really profound book for a lot of people to read. It shouldn't be that profound, but it is for many people. And it helps the reader really understand what racism is and how specific actions can be racist and how to course correct so that you can be an anti-racist, which is really the most important thing. It's not enough to just be against racism. You need to be an anti-racist. So this book is the first one that I would recommend anyone to read for doing that work and diving deeper. The next book that is, I think, again, really important for everyone to read is So You Want to Talk About Race. I did this book with a book club, and what I really loved about this is it's part book but also part journal. So the author goes through different concepts and walks the reader through various things that you may not consider having a racial element to them, and helps you understand the role that colonialism and imperialism have played in history and how that's altered the Black experience. This was a really profound exercise. It took me a long time to go through because there is a lot of self-reflection that needs to be done in doing this book, but it is a very worthwhile effort and time and energy, and it's definitely something that you should revisit time and time again as well. The third book that I'd like to recommend is a little more nuanced, but it's called The Color of Money: Black Banks and the Racial Wealth Gap. This book I read, again, because of work. I work in the fintech space when I'm not here on YouTube. And this book is really interesting because there are tons of books that talk about race and the Black experience and racism in general, all different types of things. But I loved this very specific and narrow focus regarding the banking industry and how the inherent racism in the early days of the banking industry has really affected the course of banking for both the white and non-white communities, and how prevalent it is even in today's banking. It's a really interesting story. It covers some really awesome stories about Black-owned banks and banks that serve the Black communities, which I found really inspiring. One of which was, right here in my backyard in Durham, North Carolina. Really detailed, nuanced, specific book, but a great lens to look at that experience because racism has affected everything in our country and in our world, essentially. And banking, you might think that wouldn't be affected because money is money. Not true. There's a lot of bias, a lot of inherent racism, a lot of colonial tendencies in the industry, and this book covers all of that. The last 2 books that I would love to recommend to you today are both by Michelle Obama. The first one is Becoming, which is her memoir, and the second one is The Light We Carry. Both of these, I would say, they're of course beautifully written. Michelle Obama, former First Lady, extremely well-known around the world, and her books are really beautifully done in the sense that she really talks about that intersection of being a woman, a Black woman, and a Black woman in the public eye. And it's an experience that, of course, I don't know anything about. It's very interesting, but both of her books really lend themselves to building empathy for not just Michelle Obama and her experience, but for all different people from all walks of life, because you're seeing the world through her experience and through her eyes, which again builds that empathy, builds that kind of rapport with other communities that you may not interact with on a daily basis. Those are my 5 favorite books that I would recommend for you to read in February for Black History Month. What books have I missed? I know there are a ton out there. I am always looking to expand my horizons, so please drop a comment below and let me know what else I should read, and I will add it to my TBR. And I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Have a great day.